The basic idea that was said to me in Hong Kong and what was being talked about on Chinese crypto Twitter was basically that for them, a lot of the volume and a lot of the movement, a lot of the real use case of crypto was tied up in all this, right? And so once this multinational effort was made to shut this down in Cambodia, all these nations came together and stopped all this stuff. Then it removed a lot of this kind of real world usage of crypto, a lot of the actual real liquidity. Right? This is kind of like yeah, I mean, this is Bitcoin. This is like stable coins. This is fiat. This is not some like inflated token that has like a 10 billion FDV, but is actually that has like nothing in liquidity, right? This is tangible tangible liquidity. So then that gets seized and pulled, and perhaps market makers, other people who are kind of behind the scenes on exchanges, they get spooked that the liquidity that they could tap if they needed to, right, is gone suddenly. And the volume and the revenue from transactions is gone. And so then it primes them to have very thin books for some event to happen. And so you have the tariff thing is probably the straw that broke the camel's back, the spark, if you will. And then they and the market makers and all that, they just pulled whatever they had super fast, and there was nothing there. And all that crime money was obviously gone. And so you just saw the market fall, the flash crash, right, instantly like that. And then obviously there was again, we're not saying that this is the only cause. If you read the article, it does talk about other things, right? Like the kind of the now infamous Binance, what's it called, API problem, whatever. The ADL situation, right? You had perp dexes for the first time becoming a meaningful part of the leverage in the system. And ADL was well understood, but it had never been really kind of stressed like this. And so that also kind of exacerbated things. And what we're claiming here is that this is just another contributor to all of these kind of layers that stacked up and caused the flash crash. Again, the last part is we obviously don't know, right? And I think it'd be really hard to, I mean, I guess you'd have to find some market makers, maybe in China or something, that would go on record and say, yeah, we got skittish after all these arrests. Not because they're doing anything illegal, nothing like that. Just because pools of liquidity that they could tap in emergencies just gone suddenly, making them want to protect what they have very carefully. So that to me is kind of the connection with 1010.
Yeah, there's quite obviously a very large underground economy that depends on digital assets. Saying that crypto is good for money laundering, it sounds like cliche FUD, but it is true. And it's being done by the billions daily. It's okay to just like be honest about it. They do use Bitcoin and stablecoins to launder scam money. And the payment rails were largely shut off in October, correlated pretty nicely with the top. Of course, there's other factors that people have gone through: bad liquidity conditions, the macro shock, the 4-year cycle, lack of social interest. It was a perfect storm, but I think it's probably dishonest to skip over the fact that the biggest crypto money laundering operation of all time was taken down at the same time.